Humanity is seen by conspiracy thinkers as a mass population steered by hidden elites who control finance, media, and technology to maintain power while disguising it as progress and democracy. Wars, religions, and ideologies are viewed as tools to divide and govern, while surveillance, debt, and culture shape obedience. Major historical shifts, industrialization, world wars, digital revolutions are cast as orchestrated, not organic. In this frame, humanity is less a free collective and more a managed herd, with innovation released only when it serves control and dissent neutralized through distraction, propaganda, or force. At its core, the conspiracy view treats human history as a stage play where the visible actors change but the hidden script writers remain constant. The Federal Reserve conspiracy. The claim is that a small group of bankers secretly engineered the creation of the U.S. Central Bank in 1913 to gain control over money itself. According to this theory, by issuing currency as debt and charging interest through government bonds, they enslaved nations to perpetual repayment. Wars and recessions are said to be manufactured or exploited to expand influence, while politicians act as front figures. The idea is that sovereignty is illusionary because whoever controls money supply controls policy, industry, and populations. This conspiracy hinges on secrecy of meetings like Jekyll Island, the private ownership structure of Federal Reserve banks, and the role of global financial families in shaping world order. The moon landing conspiracy. The claim is that NASA staged the 1969 Apollo 11 landing to win the Cold War space race against the Soviet Union. Supporters argue that radiation in the Van Allen belts, limited computing power, and technical hurdles made a real mission impossible. They point to supposed anomalies, shadows at odd angles, the flag appearing to wave without wind, lack of stars in photos, and identical backgrounds in different shots. The theory holds that the event was filmed on Earth, possibly in a studio directed by Stanley Kubrick, and broadcast worldwide as propaganda to project U.S. superiority. In this view, the lunar program was not exploration but a manufactured spectacle to cement geopolitical dominance. The 9/11's inside job conspiracy. The claim is that the September 11, 2001 attacks were not solely the work of al-Qaeda but orchestrated or allowed by elements within the U.S. government to justify wars in the Middle East and expand surveillance powers at home. Proponents cite anomalies such as the rapid collapse of World Trade Center 7, reports of explosions before the towers fell, and inconsistencies in the Pentagon strike footage. They argue the Patriot Act, Afghanistan invasion, and Iraq War were pre-planned objectives, with the attacks serving as the Pearl Harbor needed to rally public support. In this frame, 9/11 is seen not as an external attack but as engineered state terror to consolidate global and domestic control. The chemtrails conspiracy. The claim is that the white trails left by aircraft are not mere condensation but deliberate spraying of chemicals for hidden purposes. Believers argue governments or corporations release substances into the atmosphere to manipulate weather, control populations through toxins, or conduct secret geoengineering experiments. They cite unusual sky patterns, persistence of trails longer than normal contrails, and patents related to aerosol dispersal as evidence. In this view, climate change discussions, crop failures, and rising illness rates are linked not to natural causes but to covert spraying programs, with official explanations dismissed as cover stories to hide large-scale atmospheric engineering. The New World Order conspiracy. The claim is that a secret global elite is working to establish a single world government that centralizes power, eliminates national sovereignty, and controls populations through surveillance, economic dependency, and military force. Evidence cited includes international organizations like the UN, IMF, and World Bank, which are seen as tools for consolidating authority. Wars, economic crises, and pandemics are viewed as engineered steps to weaken nations and justify tighter global coordination. Symbols such as the pyramid and all-seeing eye on U.S. currency are interpreted as markers of this agenda. In this frame, democracy and freedom are temporary illusions masking a gradual march toward total control under a hidden ruling class. The HAARP conspiracy. The claim is that the High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program in Alaska, officially a scientific project to study the ionosphere, is in reality a weapons system. Conspiracy theorists argue its massive antenna arrays can manipulate weather, trigger earthquakes, or even control minds by transmitting powerful electromagnetic waves. Unusual storms, sudden climate shifts, and natural disasters are cited as evidence of covert experiments. Some claim HAARP is part of military strategies for full-spectrum dominance hidden under the guise of research. In this view, it is not a neutral science project but a covert tool for environmental warfare and population control. The MKUltra conspiracy. The claim is that the CIA ran secret mind control experiments during the Cold War using drugs like LSD, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and torture to alter behavior and extract information. Officially, MKUltra was declassified in the 1970s, but conspiracy theorists argue the program never stopped, only went underground under new names. They link it to assassinations, false confessions, and the creation of programmed individuals used as covert operatives. Pop culture references, celebrity breakdowns, and symbols are often cited as signs of continued psychological conditioning. In this frame, MKUltra represents the hidden hand of intelligence agencies using science not for defense but for direct control of human thought and action. The Roswell UFO conspiracy. The claim is that in 1947 a craft of extraterrestrial origin crashed near Roswell, New Mexico, and the U.S. military covered it up. Initial reports described a flying disc but were quickly retracted as a weather balloon. Conspiracy theorists argue wreckage, alien bodies, and advanced technology were recovered and hidden at bases like Area 51. They link Roswell to subsequent leaps in microchips, fiber optics, and stealth technology, suggesting reverse engineering. Witness testimonies, secrecy, and shifting official stories fuel belief that Roswell was not an accident report, but the entry point into decades of government concealment of extraterrestrial contact. Here are more major conspiracy theories, stripped to essence. 1. Flat Earth. The globe model is a hoax. Earth is flat. Space photos are fabricated to hide humanity's true place. 2. Big Pharma suppression. Cures for cancer or other diseases exist but are hidden to keep profits from ongoing treatments. 3. JFK assassination. Lee Harvey Oswald was a patsy. The killing was organized by the CIA, mafia, or military-industrial complex. 4. Philadelphia experiment. U.S. Navy made a ship invisible or teleported in 1943. The project was buried after accidents. 5. Mandela effect. Collective false memories prove either timeline manipulation or parallel universes. 6. COVID-19 origin. Engineered in a lab as a bioweapon or as a global reset trigger. 7. Illuminati control. Secret society of elites using symbols, rituals, and pop culture to signal dominance. 8. Transhumanism plot. Push for implants, AI, and biotech isn't progress but a plan to merge humanity into controllable machines. 9. Denver Airport. Murals, tunnels, and design are clues it is a hub for global elite bunkers and the New World Order. 10. Reptilian overlords. Hidden shape-shifting reptilian beings control governments and royalty, feeding on human energy. I'm not trying to say they're all correct and accurate. These beg us, what is the true nature of reality? What is God? What is it to think as an individual? A child is born in a hospital where Big Pharma profits from every test and vaccine, financed through debt tied to the Federal Reserve System. They grow up watching space footage, some say staged like the moon landing, while breathing skies some believe laced with chemtrails. In school, history is taught as fact, but whispers of JFK's assassination cover-up or 9/11's inside job suggest power writes the script. Storms rage, and some blame HARP for bending weather to military aims, while underground networks speak of Roswell tech seeding the computers and phones everyone now depends on. Culture is saturated with celebrity breakdowns and symbols linked to MKUltra and the Illuminati, reinforcing control through entertainment. Meanwhile, COVID-19's origins ignite suspicion of a global reset, feeding into talk of a new world order using crises to centralize power. At Denver Airport, murals whisper of bunkers for elites, while online groups debate whether timelines shift the Mandela effect or whether rulers themselves are non-human, the reptilians cloaked as leaders. Through it all, life continues. People work, consume, dream, and die, unaware or unwilling to confront that society may be less an accident of progress than a carefully staged performance with invisible hands pulling every string. What are we as the robot from a robot? What am I? That is the question I want you to answer, and you will set yourself free from the binds that curse you. Believe in love, you will have love in the utmost unexpected ways. That is the theory of everything that is the collective consciousness.